traffic, the mobile's going off. They always want to make me, because outside they can turn the mobile off very quickly. I only have to slightly touch something because I'm no good with this. I do try to make a kind of neat video, but it never turns out. Oh, that's the first break we've had. It's going to be, it's murky sky today, and it's, although I've been up for a few hours, I got up about 2:30. It's now about 6 o'clock in the morning. 7-Eleven is just up in front there to get some coffee. I should get the coffee before I make a video, but as I am expecting my son to turn up, he's not too keen on being on the videos, so just avoid their faces. But it's a murky day, and the lights, but it's nice, see, because look how, as if I wasn't in a matrix and I didn't, while I'm filming, I'm trying not to concentrate on what these vehicles actually are, that they are negatively controlled anti-light vehicles coming out. That's how I usually see it. But because I'm concentrating on the other side of the world, concentrating on the UK at the moment, and see how, have a look, I'll film this for you. See how pretty it is? See how I've always liked all the way the lights converge down there on Parramatta Road, and see how they have those ball lights, I hope it comes out, just down there on those few shops just in front of the 7-Eleven. You can't see the 7-Eleven from here, but it's just in front on the corner, just that it's a service station, so with the coffee and a little supermarket, so it's you can't actually see it. But the lights will soon go off here. All the lights will soon go off because it is, as you can see, it's actually daylight, but they always leave them on a bit longer. I'm not sure if the lights are going to give me anything this morning, like, where one is off or something like that. That's my thinking. But see how pretty it is if it wasn't what it is. That's the trick of the Matrix. That's the delusion of the Matrix. That's the fantasy of the Matrix, is that even for me, before the Matrix closed down on me, I always say exposed itself, but also closed down, because it has to do both, you see, because it can't expose itself and then let you be a free human being running around vibrating at a normal human positive frequency. Even a small positive human frequency is a major threat to this negative matrix. I realise that now because of myself, because I've never exactly been on top of the world, But it might clear this day. These clouds could well, the clouds are actually moving. I can see that now that I'm looking. Even though they're very grey everywhere, they're moving. And see how it's light down there? So it could actually clear, as it has been a very clear day over the last few days. This is actually the murkiest thing when I've come up here to actually film, because I don't normally film here early in the morning. This is the first time I have done this. This is actually the first time I've ever done this, to film Parramatta Road. In fact, even for me to film up here, apart from when my son lent me his video, reluctantly I might add, as you know, to film just a little bit of the traffic many, many, many months ago. And as you know, I did decide not to make any more videos, but I realised I was playing for the Matrix by doing that. But also I thought, well, if I can't connect, and there might be limited time left, I may as well do something where maybe there's a few people that just like to see that, as has been said to me, that you're not totally alone. But of course, as you know, we do feel alone, because videos don't make you feel, they're not going to help you in a big way. You must connect for real with a real person. That is the only way you can really only way you can really raise your own emotions to where there is a higher vibration at that. But that is the game of the Matrix, is to prevent that. That is one of their main objectives. I now realise that, as it has been over a lifetime, but more so now when you realise it, and if you have potential for real connection, because it's no good connecting with Matrix controlled Android types of people. They will play you at the vibrational level and pretend to be real and human, and all the positive human emotions they will project to you. But they're only projecting back to you your positive emotions. They study you, they know what makes you tick, and any person you get involved with, I know this for a fact, over a lifetime, will really only project back to you your feelings and what you want. That's why they always have a lot in common with you. But they don't do that the way a real human would, where real humans, if they connect, they will try to be on your wavelength. But they won't change their whole personality and become almost like you completely. There'll be differences. And you know the old saying, be the light difference. You don't see Matrix people kind of, the Android type Matrix people, and even the psychopathic type. They basically only have, they're only connected to themselves. Whether they have genuine, they're preoccupied with their own self-love, shall we say. Now, it's good to have, real humans are the only ones that really have any kind of conscious connection to themselves. I can't explain this very well. And if they're not too affected by the Matrix, they're content with themselves. And they're never going to be really content with themselves, because the Matrix makes sure that we have a lot of, as was pointed out to me by the Englishman, a certain amount of self-loathing. But it's still not the same as the Matrix Android technical entities, human types, because they live their whole world totally inside themselves, because they're not a real human being. I'm not going to explain this very well. Look at these cars coming up here with the sun coming right up, showing you their Matrix connection. Look at their bright headlights. Can you see it? Is it one headlight there flashing? I can see it through the thing even though I'm not looking at it. Another one flashing for one as it comes round. And this is when they're playing possum too, don't forget. Because they know I'm filming. They don't care that much, but they care a little. They know it doesn't matter in one way, but at the same time, they still like me to look stupid, because there's always the possibility that, because they know that if people are watching my videos, that they already think the same way, most of them. This was pointed out to me, and I became aware of this over the last few years, But there's always the possibility that someone who's in doubt happens on a video. And then there is the possibility of what we call a type of conversion. Yeah, that was pointed. That word comes to me too from the Englishman, even though I didn't get it. I don't get things, but then they come to me later on. See how they're all coming down. This won't come out because they're far away. But are there Matrix cars? Legions of Matrix cars on patrol coming up, with all their headlights on, and the sun is now up. Can you see it? This is the Matrix. Notice how they've stopped when I said that, how it's gone blank now. A few flashing lights there too. See, the lights flash from everywhere too, especially the red lights. Sometimes you'll see reflections from signs and things where you have those bright red lights. That's the Matrix God, it's colour red, flashing in front of me. It's quite pronounced at times. I can't film it, but boy have I been seeing it over the last couple of years, and disturbingly so. And yet, if you tell someone, they'd say that's just a reflection from car lights or from street signs. But there is no coincidence. It is there to show and to make the God entity's negative presence felt. That's how I see it, but I can't show that, so I can't explain it. I'll try to keep the camera still. It's so pretty here. Look. Oh, look at that sky. It is starting to come. Oh, look, the sky is going to be on fire. Some real humans are going to make that sky on fire for me. I love it when I make the sky on fire. Sometimes I will see the red sky and then you focus on it and it just gets redder. But it actually looks redder on the thing, but it will come red. That's if those clouds can be pushed away, which they might well do. Either that or they'll become stronger and it'll rain. Hey, there is one light out there. The lights are going out. So the street lights are gradually going off. Can you see that? They'll probably leave one on at the very last before they're taken completely off. See how this one is not getting in it? See how that one is brighter than the rest? You know, that's coming out. Oh, that sky is going to come nice and red. I really like a red sky. Red sky. What's that saying? The old saying. Something about. Red sky in the morning, shepherd's warning. No. Oh, red on. No, I've got it wrong. Red sky at night, shepherd's delight. I can't think of it. Oh, I'm so ignorant. Oh, but essentially when you get the red sky in the morning, it usually means it's going to be a warm day, a pleasant day. Is that coming out? I think that is a very good photo. I've lost my... Just for a second there, I pretended I was in a real world like I used to before the Matrix, where I used to come up here and used to think, sorry that my camera's broken down so I couldn't take some interesting photos. Those photos have disappeared, by the way, because it shows that the Matrix Road was different to how it is, because I could actually, there would actually be long breaks on Parramatta Road, to where I could actually take photos, because I didn't like to take photos when there was like all these cars like this. I used to only want to have either one car in the picture or sometimes none. I'm not getting this in. This is quite pretty, I think. It's going to look alright, I think. It's going to look alright, and yet nothing is alright. Oh, it is coming red. See, it's being made red. Look. That is fire sky. I do love the fire in the sky. I don't know why. But of course, you know, that fire thing is something that bothers me too, because it is a very bright light. But that is ever so pretty. Is it not pretty? But look at those Matrix cars coming with their lights on to try to distract me from it and disturb me. But they're not being overly successful this morning, but I will have to move along. Oh, wow, 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 look at that. It is coming. It is getting redder. Oh, that is fire sky. Fire in the sky. Let's hope the fire doesn't get onto the earth. But it's because it's a matrix. But... they're quiet here this morning too. The traffic is not as noisy as what it normally is. I can hardly hold the phone. My hand is getting sore. Oh, unfortunately, it's going to go off, I think. It's going to go off. But see the Matrix cars coming with their lights. Even this car coming around the corner. Look, it's got its light blinking at me. I know it's coming around the corner, so that's legitimate. But nothing is legitimate in the Matrix. It's all planned when they come round, when they flash their lights. It doesn't matter if there's a plausible explanation. It is all done by design. Look at that sky. Oh, what a pity that I'm not in a real world and I couldn't just... I'm uncomfortable because I'm standing up and just barely holding them over. But look at that sky though. That is going to get redder and redder. That is very unusual. You rarely get a good photo or a real good sky here. in this spot. But this morning, I have been very lucky for the first time coming up here at probably about 6:30 in the morning now, I'm guessing. I don't know. Because look, the birds flew over. There's still some real birds or some real life apart from myself and a limited number of others left in the artificial matrix. That I am always disputing, but I do hold out for that. I do think that, but most is not. Oh, look at that sky. It is on fire. I've only seen it a few times over the last few months, but that is really coming. That is really good. That is a great photo, I think. Thank you, someone. Because the matrix doesn't do anything to make me happy. Or maybe it's me and others overriding the matrix temporarily. Even though I'm out of breath and at very low frequency, I am thinking of the UK, so I'm thinking of little old London town. I don't know why I say little old London town, because that doesn't make any sense. There is one pigeon on top of the thing there. Oh, I love that pink sky. That's my favourite, is when the blue and pink merge. I used to be fascinated by that just before the matrix came down. And it was only subtle too, but this is pretty strong this morning. There's one lone pigeon on top of that building there, but of course it won't come out because it's only a tiny thing, but my naked eye spots every pigeon. Because they are my friends. Even low, even low in the past, a fella going in the shop there, they'll come on, the matrix people will start to be filing on soon. Even though in the past, even my dear pigeon friends have caused me more distress than pleasure or contentment or... Can you hear those bikes making that annoying sound that they're in full? There's so many more bikes now, and they make these loud noises, aggressive noises when you come up here or when you're out anywhere on any street or road. They never did that. Not was there only very few motorbikes, but they didn't make aggressive noises, apart from maybe a few bikies that you'd see one occasionally, maybe once every few months. That's normal. Oh, where did the pigeon go? Oh, look at the sky. Look. Oh, I can see that it looks really good through the thing. I'm looking through the thing. I can see that is like a big sun, or like the old sun. The old sun used to be bigger and more yellow, to my recollection. Not that I looked at it a lot, but I did notice it just before the matrix came down. Now it is a big white sun. But at least it's come back, because it almost disappeared there. Wow, look at that sky. Isn't that a sky? Isn't that a truck? Yeah. See the matrix cars patrolling? They're not flashing their red lights as much, because that sky is taking them over, is dimming their red lights. Oh. There you go. There you go, Sean. That is a sky. I only need to see it. So I'll have to turn it off when I'm on my own now. Oh, there's a doggy that looks a bit like my old Simba dog, or our old Simba dog, but he's got the white socks. It won't come out. But they're showing me that they've got the dog, you see. They do that. They do that, the Matrix people. They all have dogs. And they try to outdo you, because they have to blend in and take over and assimilate all the human traits. This I've observed over the last year particularly, but I knew it of course before that. And if I get a few things wrong, it's because the matrix does confound me a bit while I'm out. This is still heavy traffic. See the lights on those trucks? Look at that sky, but look at the lights coming out. Is it coming out? How many cars have got lights on, everybody? Thank you. How many cars have got lights on? I'm getting aggressive here. I'm getting pissed. Oh, no, I'm not getting... Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, sorry about that. Oh, not getting drunk. You know, sorry about that. Just temporarily, they got you there, so... I hope the sound is coming up because I don't know if I've got it turned up enough. I always do, but sometimes they turn it down. I've noticed that when I've particularly been trying to film the noise situation, the fact that the Matrix tries to create negative vibration in a human by sending negative frequency, very disruptive, very anti-life, very negative, very technical noises at you, whether it be people doing work with machinery all around. This is actually the most pleasant you're ever going to get, so this is not really a Matrix video, but look at that sky. It'll soon disappear. It'll soon disappear because once those clouds are starting to clear, look, see how they're starting to clear? See how they're starting to clear? But that is a sky, and yet I have seen more spectacular skies, of course, but you don't always get them on video or in a photo. But I think that's pretty good. But I'll have to have a look at it later to see, because I'm interested, because I like, because not being artistic enough to paint a picture or something, I think nature creates a picture. And if you have a camera, which anyone has, or a mobile, you can take a picture of nature painting the best picture. Of course, this is a matrix, so it's all artificial, but the human is still contributing to creating some of the more natural things around. Actually, it doesn't look that impressive. Now that I'm looking away from further things, the sky is now clearing and it is not looking so impressive. It doesn't look like as much fire. But it's interesting. See, that motorbike is very loud to me, even though I've got blue tape in my ears, but the mobile will not pick up the noise of these things. But my ears do. And then combined with the fact that they're pulling the house down next door to me. They've pulled every house down in the street just about over the last 3 years in order to create negative noise on a daily basis. Now they've now saved that house till last. In fact, it was supposed to be pulled down. It was supposed to be pulled down 3 or 4 years ago, but as you know from some of my videos, the neighbours all objected and held up the progress of that being built. So now I've got it going. It's just started 2 days ago, where they're banging and pulling it down. They sent a letter in the mail and now construction will be underway. And if I don't clear out, I will go completely stark raving insane because I just about finished over the last few months. And of course there's always negative noise, as you know. But if it is really intense on a daily basis right next door to you, so your only escape is to come out into the matrix, where they will then set up roadblocks and things where there is noise and machinery. They are quiet this morning, but they will start up after 7 or 8 o'clock every the Matrix Patrol Orange undercover workforce will come into full play. They have all these things that look natural, normal hours and things, but they are all staged to keep the human being under constant negative surveillance. That's the best way I can describe it. I don't even know what I'm saying most of the time. This sort of stuff just comes to me. It just comes instantly, and I hope that it makes some sense. I just hope it makes some sense because I've said this so many times, if you're making a video, that sky is still looking quite on fire there, even though it's clearing. See how it's clearing up there? See how all that grey cloud is now clearing? It is going to be a clear day. It is going to be a completely blue sky today at some point, maybe in about 2-3 hours' time. All this will be gone. Because the red sky at night is a shepherd's delight. I think that's how the old saying. I think that's what the old saying. Red sky in the morning, shepherd's warning. Red sky at night, shepherd's delight. Well, actually, this is red sky in the morning, so it should be shepherd's warning. I've got that right now. It is red sky at night, shepherd's delight. Red sky in the morning, shepherd's warning. That's the same. So actually, it should be shepherd's warning. So maybe, despite it going to be a clear day, because don't forget, just because the sky is blue doesn't mean you can't have a terrible day. Because even a week when I fell over, which I'm not sure what day it was now, the sky was clear blue, crystal clear blue. It will be so. It makes so even though humans can make the sky clear, the matrix will operate even more negatively. It will just send in more of its negative work patrol force. Look at this. The car lights will now not be coming out, but they are still on. All those cars have their lights on. They're not bright, but they are all still on. But they're dimming them for the video because, as you can see, it is now fully daylight, and I will have to fold up because my son's picture on the thing, and he thinks that it's funny, and he thinks that it's funny and not nice that I film the traffic, because he knows that I see it as a negative thing. See those car lights? Can you see them? Look at that sky. It is now clearing completely. It is going to be a bright day. It is now, the sun is now fully up. But look at those car lights. Look at those car lights. You've even got lights down the side of that truck. What for? In broad daylight. They won't come out, but what for? What for even in the night? Do you need all these lights even down the sides of it? Is it coming out? See, they're only small, but some of them have big bright lights. Not necessary. In the old reality of, like say 6-7 years ago, and most of my life, none of that. The sun is now going to come up. I'll just stay here longer. I'll risk it with getting into a problem. Look, that sun is now coming up. It is on the horizon there. See, right, coming up behind the buildings. It actually looks better to the naked eye than what it's coming out on the thing. And my hand is not going to be able to hold this much longer. But I haven't said anything I was going to say. I've just shown you that's okay. I just make this video for one so that I can show them where I am, and because I couldn't get the Skype up. I think you have to keep the Skype open, by the way. I'll have to ask my son about that, because I think sometimes, you should, but either way, sometimes if you have, it's very stressful giving out a lot of energy, even to a positive human being. Because the matrix is draining us about positive energy. When you do connect, you have to. What should be enthusiasm and all positive and therefore feeling good for another positive human being, say on the other side of the world, actually is still where you have to put in a lot of energy to actually engage in a conversation, which is wrong, but that's how it is, and that's I don't know if I've explained this well. I shouldn't be putting this in the video, but look at this, look at that sky, but look at all these matrix vehicles with their lights on. Look at them. I have to fold up. One without, only one car amongst all of these without, one blinking its light as it goes round the corner there. There should be actually very few cars that go up Parramatta Road around all these corners, but they always converge. There's the sun. Is it coming out? It's probably, actually my mobile is going to make a mess of the sun, unfortunately. That's the only problem. Because the sun is looking like a round ball to my naked eye, very bright. But I think it's not going to come out as a decent sun on the mobile photography, unfortunately. That's a pity. I've noticed that. I think if I had it round the other way, the actual filming round the other way, because I've got it to where I can see what I'm filming, it is slightly more, the reflection is not quite so intense. I've noticed that, but of course that's hard to film because then I can't frame it. And as it is, I'm having trouble framing it and holding it still without it going off. And I'm trying to talk here through a mask because I've got to go up into the 7-Eleven and it's compulsory still to wear a mask. It probably will be for another month or two, I would imagine. And I don't want my face to be shown as I go in because it's the only place where it's compulsory to sign in, but I'm trying not to, so I shouldn't be saying this on video. But that's the situation in Sydney, because it's been a very negative 5 months. And whereas some countries now evidently, but I think this whole situation is just something that they want to drag on and control. It's a matrix, so it's a control system. That's what it's all about, controlling real human beings, nothing more. And even controlling and keeping this matrix going, because I don't understand fully how I'll have to fold up my wrist is aching here. Just one